Hi, my name is Holly Chapple and I live in Leesburg, Virginia. I'm a mom with 7 children and I started designing flowers for weddings and events. Through the years, I developed a process that makes designing easier. I created a structure called the pillow, and Syndicate Sales developed this for us. And then we have created the perfect compote, which is called the Abelia. This is a glass compote. The Abbey is plastic, and the Abbey was named after my second child, Abigail. So this structure allows me to design in a beautiful way, very open and gracious, and allows the flowers to be directly in water. So when you get your pillow, you'll have to put it together. You click in the pieces really quickly, just snap them around. It's very simple, but you definitely want to use both pieces. Click together. And then this sits up on top of your compote or any vessel that you have. It's nice if it's a little bit bigger than the rim of the vase. So I often will start with just mixed greenery, but one of my favorite things to do is add in vine. So I'm going to show you how I do that. Now this is jasmine, which is actually a house plant that you can grow. Get from a flower shop or a garden center. And then we put this out into the garden after the winter and let it grow. And you can just tie it down into place with a little bit of wire. I like the jasmine because it gives it a beautiful loose look. You want to clean off the lower leaves so that it is in the vase through both layers of the pillow. And you do not want to fill up the center of the structure with leaves. And once again, I'm just pinning this down so it stays where I want it to stay. Now, this is what you would do with any type of vine. Maybe you have clematis in your garden or ivy. Any of those things would work very beautifully like this. If you don't have a vine, then you would simply begin with greenery. Again, stripping the leaves as you go and go around the rim of the vase. Now, one of the things that you'll notice I did was that I made sure that there was weight all the way around. If you start designing on just one side, then your pillow will rock off of your container. So make sure that you evenly disperse those first few weighted stems. Next, I'm adding seeded eucalyptus, which gives texture to the design, has a lot of movement. And this also can be found in the local flower shops or the grocery stores sometimes. So the seeded eucalyptus just adds movement. What I'm going to do is go ahead and cover all of the pillow, and then once that's covered, I can start adding in pretty flowers. This is the eucalyptus that you've probably seen before. This is the spiral eucalyptus. All of the eucalyptuses are very easy to obtain and very popular. When I am designing, I love for things to be very loose and organic, as if I gathered them from the garden, because that's how I started designing. So I like to see lots of different shapes and textures. And again, things with lots of movement. I don't like a design to look really stiff. Next, I'm going to add in the carnations. This is a flower that I absolutely love. This can be gathered from the grocery store or from a local flower shop. I think that people forget about carnations and assume that they're not beautiful, but this is a gorgeous flower, and they come in so many different colors and varieties now. And carnations, I will typically put them together in a grouping so that they look like a fuller flower. It makes them look like a peony or a garden rose when you bunch them together like this. With the carnations, I'm also putting them close down onto my pillow so that I will create layers of color and texture, and the carnations work really beautifully for that. Sometimes you have to play with them a little bit and help them open. Okay, so now I have the layers of the carnation. I'm going to add stock, this is a very old-fashioned flower. It's one of my favorites to use. One of the things I love about the pillow is that it's very easy to take stems in and out and move them to a new place. So it just gives me a lot more freedom. And so I'm trying to create another level by adding in this seeded eucalyptus. I also want to make sure that I'm going around the rim and covering up my mechanic, which is the pillow. When you begin designing, think about where you're actually going to place the piece. Think about, will it be visible from all sides? A design like this is perfect for a nook in your kitchen, a kitchen centerpiece, or if you're creating on your dining room table and it's long, then maybe you want to bring your branches out and make it elongated. But something like this is perfect for a table where it will be seen all the way around. If you're doing a one-sided piece, then you can be more forgiving and maybe just do a good bit of greenery on the back and bring the floral forward. Think about who will be looking at it. So the next flower I'm going to put in are spray roses. These are also very, very easy to get. See how the spray roses give it lots of movement and shape? They're just unique in texture. Now I'm going to add full roses. This rose is called Edith. These are garden roses. Now these are very special, but it's nice to put maybe 1 or 2 premium blooms in a design for your home. I mean, certainly you deserve to have some pretty things like this around. And if your budget does not allow for the roses, then you could add in another layer of carnations or chrysanthemums. So one of the things that's so wonderful about the pillow, it is very forgiving and it allows you to just experiment and play. Remember when I started designing, I just went out and gathered some flowers and started to experiment, and it became my passion and my career. The pillow is very, very easy to work with because it's very easy to go in and out. The armature itself really keeps the flowers properly spaced so that you don't have to be perfect at designing. It will help you create the look that you're going for. So now I have created a shape that I'm very happy with. And to make it a little bit more unique, I will continue to add layers of other types of flowers. So next I'm going to put in these tulips, which really are fun because they have lots of movement and they will kind of add yet another level of interest because I'm going to place them in higher than the other stems. So when I first started designing many years ago, I didn't have this structure to work with, and things were infinitely harder. This has given me so much freedom. My designs have evolved so beautifully because of this armature. One of the other things that's really wonderful about the pillow is that flowers like tulips and also like ranunculus, they don't respond well to putting into foam. And so this allows you to go directly into the water. Normally when you're trying to insert in other floral mechanics, the stem will break. So what's so wonderful about the pillow is that it is perfect with those types of blooms. Same is true with the ranunculus. And these flowers also respond so much better to the fresh water. Now this is a sweet pea, very popular in the spring. And this really adds movement to the design. Now I've chosen this color because it matches the color of the tulips. When I design, I typically will have at least 2 flowers of the same color. I rarely will just add one type of flower into a design, like one white flower. If I were to introduce white into this design right now, I would want to put at least 2 flowers that were white. I think it's ready. You want to go around the design and make sure that your rim of your vase is not showing and that your pillow is completely covered. I think one of the most important things about floral arranging is to just give it a try. Don't be afraid. These are flowers, they're not going to hurt you. Take an opportunity to gather some stems and just play. Experiment with it. It is so much fun.